throttle left and deep. Hey, get up! Get up! Get out! Here comes! For Lucroy!
Welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast from three guys who talked sports together over lunch for over 10 years, probably eating a Fudgy the Whale.
Come on, Brewers! Keep turning up the heat. Milwaukee Brewers! Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. I'm Bryan Galloway here with, from Rumson, New Jersey. How are you, Alex? Alex Shanley.
I'm doing all right. I'm writing off the Yankees and I'm on to the Giants.
The San Francisco Giants? Oh, yeah. They're
No,
not that
the
good.
New York
Okay.
Football Giants.
Wow.
Jaxon,
The
Dart,
The
Abdul
Tokyo
Carter.
Giants. The Tokyo Giants. huh?
Yankees
Okay,
are playing
the Yankees.
horrendous baseball.
Yankees
Boone's
are
got to go and
just
Cashman's got to go.
I said Boone got. Months
Don't get
ago
me
I said
started.
Boone's got to go, and you wanted to keep him on. I
Yeah.
want him gone. Okay, he's
I
not.
agree
He's
with
not a
Cash.
manager.
Yeah.
I love the guy, but he's not a manager.
Hmm.
And from parts unknown, we have Michael Pippersick. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing great. A little sad to hear that Alex is moving on from the Yankees in early August, but I guess got off to a nice start in the Jaxon Dart era. So why not?
That's
Why not
right,
get some
baby.
excitement for the Giants, right? Why
And
not?
Abdul Carter. Guy's
Yes.
a beast.
Well, we have
Did he
a
ever
bunch of things to
settle on a
talk
number?
about. Yeah, we have a bunch of things to talk about today, and I want to start off though. Mike was at, we talked about my trip, and the game I went to, but also let's talk about Mike. Mike, you went to Milwaukee. Could you give us a little bit of tidbits about your trip? And
Yeah,
like,
I
what you got to see, and what you thought about the park.
Yeah, I went to Milwaukee for a work event, and a lot of folks that I work with, are based in Madison, Wisconsin. So we decided, hey, let's go to a Brewers game. So we actually tailgated. I don't know that people tailgate at baseball games normally, but I guess in Wisconsin, there's nothing else to do. So let's tailgate for everything. And so we had this guy I work with has a pickup truck with like a trailer RV off the back, and it was plush. And we ended up staying out there having shots and drinks and eating fruit and just talking. And by the time I got into the stadium, it was the top of the third, and the Brewers were already down 3-0. So the Miz was pitching, and I didn't really get to see him pitch. I saw him pitch one inning because he got a little dinged up, but he struck out 7 in 4 innings. The stadium is beautiful. I mean, just a beautiful stadium. It's got the retractable roof on it. They still got Bernie Brewer sliding into
They still got Bernie Brewer. Good.
Still got Bernie Brewer, but it's American Family Stadium, American Family Life Insurance Stadium. So when he slides into the beer mug after a home run, all these insurance papers come flying out, like claims and stuff like that. It's kind of weird, but it was cool. I got to see a couple home runs. Christian Yelich hit a home run. The stadium is just fantastic. We were in the upper level, like the 400 section, but great views all around. Really modern stadium. I was a little bit disappointed in the 6th inning. I went to get something to eat, and they have this, similar, Brian, to what you had in Pittsburgh, that like crazy sandwich. They had this. I think they called it a Polish sausage sandwich. So it's supposed to be a Polish sausage in like a hot dog bun with pierogies and all this other stuff on it. And I go to the front, and a friend of mine and I were like, give us 2 Polish sandwiches. And you know what the guy said to us? We're out of them. We're out of them.
Out of them.
They're out of the Polish ones. We had to get a plain sausage sandwich, which is
Was
just
it a
like,
bratwurst or a sausage?
It was just a sausage. It wasn't even a
Oh, okay.
bratwurst. It's a sausage.
All right.
And then they behind you, again, something that they probably only have in like Midwestern states, they have these like little trays with like onions and relish you could put on there. So I had to settle for that. Stadium was awesome. They were playing the Cubs at the time that both teams were tied for first. A lot of fans from Chicago come in for the game because I guess it's easier to get to Milwaukee for a game than to get into Wrigley for a game. So it was a mixed crowd of Cubs and Brewers fans, but the crowd was raucous. They had around 50,000 people there, but a fantastic stadium. I would say it's definitely one of the top 2 or 3 stadiums I've seen, like right up there. Camden Yards, I'm with you, Brian. Camden Yards, I think, is still my favorite. This is obviously a more modern look, but I'd say I'd probably put it aesthetically above Citizen Bank Park in Philly, which I really like, just because of like the retractable roof and just kind of like the aesthetics of the almost like the glass at like one end, like on the first base side, because I was sitting on the third base side, and when you look over to the first base side, that's where the retractable roof would start to close, and they just have like tons of glass there, just almost like a mirrored view, and just a great view, out into the outfield, which is great. So I thought it was a great ballpark, great crowd, great atmosphere, and obviously the Brewers are playing some terrific baseball right now. Probably one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team
Yeah,
in
they could be the
baseball.
best team right now. Yeah.
But yeah, just a fantastic stadium, and the fans are super excited. The funniest thing I saw, we get to the stadium, we go in, we're like walking towards our seats, and as we're walking, we're on like the third level, so we still have to go up an escalator to get to our seats, and we're kind of like stopped because there's a bunch of people. And I turn and I look up a landing, and there's these 3 huge burly guys, all 3 of them just standing up there in overalls, like farmers, like we're at the game, which was just hysterical, and like again, like a very Wisconsin thing to see there. Probably rode in on their
No,
farm
it's good.
equipment.
It's good for that fan base that they're good again because, like, so I went to the old stadium way back when we were
Same, yeah,
in
yeah.
college. Where we in college we played an away game, and then we ended up like the coach took us to a game there. So it was a long time ago. But I want to go to this new stadium. I really want to go there. So that's what on my list of like
Yeah,
the next couple I want. 'Cause I've been
yeah.
to a lot, but I haven't been to everyone.
I was at
Did
County
you see the
Stadium also,
sausage race?
Brian, in 2000.
Did I see what?
The sausage race.
Yes,
No,
I did. I did see
you
that. I saw
didn't.
that when I was there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike,
I
did
didn't
you?
see it. I don't know what inning
They
they
had
do.
pierogi races in Pittsburgh, so they must have had sausage
Uh,
races there.
Oh yeah,
uh,
they're famous there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did.
it's a
I
beautiful
didn't see
stadium. I
it.
agree, Mike. Mike, did you park in that lot that's like it's not paved? I don't think it was paved. You can see the stadium and walk to the stadium from there. Is that where
We
you
took
guys were?
we took an Uber, and there was a designated area, and then we'd like cross a bridge to get to the stadium because we were on the opposite side of the
Okay.
highway, opposite. And then we
Yeah.
walked around the stadium, past the stadium. So we were like to the left of the stadium was where there was all this RV parking.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's
and there were
cool.
quite a few RVs in there. So I was like, I guess tailgating for, because I think when I went to County Stadium, which was a really long time ago, they were actually building the stadium. In the background, you could see it. And I remember there were people tailgating. I remember thinking back then, like tailgating at baseball games. But hey, when in Wisconsin.
Yeah, you do what you have to do. And again, that's a party town. It is. So
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad you had a good time. And again, you probably saw. I mean, they could be the best team in baseball right now, and the Cubs are a darn good team too.
Very
So
good too. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
right there. I
Milwaukee has
mean,
the best record currently.
yeah, Brewers are kind of stretching at 5.5 games up. When
well,
I went,
Yelich had funny. A good thing about Yelich is he was great for so long. Then he had a couple really bad years, but now he's back and he's doing well. And he kind of like makes that team go. And there's a lot of good players in that team. They have a good pitching staff.
Well, he had
Um,
a bad back, and he got
yeah,
he got busted for steroids too.
oh right,
Yelich
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. He
yeah,
was
that's
like his
right.
MVP year, I think, or the year after his
Yeah, or
I
the
MVP
thought that
year
was
year.
Steve
after.
Braun. Oh, so it was him.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Oh, Ryan Braun,
interesting.
you're thinking of, right?
Whatever the other, yeah, whatever the other Ryan Braun. Yeah, Ryan Braun. Yeah, Ryan Braun got busted
Forgot
too.
about that guy.
Yeah, he was a darn good player too.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. Good, you had a good time. Okay, well,
great.
let's. There's a lot of other crazy things going on, and I can tell you one thing. I want to tell you an observation I made, and I guarantee you guys will understand this. So I went to a concert this weekend. Old school. It was, I'm not going to go deep into that, but it was like Lisa and Sugar Hill Gang and whatever. So I thought about something, and I said, well, okay, so I'm a New York Jets fan. So there's the Winnipeg Jets, there's the New York Jets, and most of the time the New York Jets, even when the Jets were not good, they were still better than the Winnipeg Jets. Now the Winnipeg Jets are really good. They're a really good hockey team. So they're the better Jet. But then I saw the Jets, the
Oh,
singing
cool.
group, and I realized, first of all, they were amazing, and I would take totally with a surprise of the concert and how good they were. Even after all these years, they're still like amazingly organized and everything set up. They're just really good. So I'm thinking the New York Jets are probably the third Jet. So if you look at the Winnipeg Jets, the Jets singing group, and then the New York Jets. So I am I am a Jet fan. I am, I know Alex is anticipating this season, and the Giants actually might be pretty decent. And I just don't know about the Jets. Maybe they might surprise me, but I just think as a sports fan, I know you're bummed about the Yankees right now, but I just think that the Jets have just torn out my heart so many times. I'm having a hard time getting pumped up for this season, but that's just me, and maybe it'll get better. But I just
I mean, I would be
after realizing that this old 40-year-old singing group is better than my football team, then I was like, wow, okay.
I
But
would
anyway,
I would be pumped up for Aaron Glenn, Ryan. I think he's going to be good. It's so hit or miss with new coaches, but I think he brings the right attitude, and I think he's going to get the players playing. I mean, I still think they need a quarterback. I don't know that Justin Fields, although he looked good in the one series that he played. I watched the preseason game. Um, he drove down the field and got a touchdown. Was running the ball pretty well, had a couple good throws, but I think Aaron Glenn's going to build something, and it's going to take a few years, but I think he's somebody to be excited about this year.
yeah, I hope, but I just until it happens, I got to see it. So
I hear you.
it's hard. It's so hard to get pumped up, and I love this time of year. I love this time of year. Fantasy football, getting ready, all this stuff. But I just can't. It just I don't know. I just realized that it's not. I'm not at that same level anymore. Again, maybe because the Yankees are killing me too. Because it is. I feel the same as you. It just bothers me. Like you look in the paper, they're losing like 7-1 or 12, or they have a 3-1 lead in the ninth. They blow it like 3 days in a row. I
Yeah.
mean, what a disaster they are.
I mean, every
Disaster.
signing that Cashman has made outside of Bednar has been terrible.
Yep.
Slater's hurt on the IL,
They
right?
they sent one down the basement down to the minors
Yeah,
already.
Bird got sent down, and then Ahmad Rosario, he just got hurt. So three of the guys are basically not on the team anymore. They're either hurt or sent down. It's just like head scratching. They got to promote Cashman to whatever, president of baseball operation, or get him out of there, and don't let him pick the next GM. Don't bring it from somebody inside. Bring some new young guy in and clean house on all those guys and get it going again. That's my
Why do
opinion.
you
I
think?
agree.
Why
I
do you think
agree.
they haven't gotten rid of Cashman yet? Because I've been feeling like for the last couple of years, like they haven't won since
No.
2009, and he
Well, they
has
were in the
all
World
these
Series
recent.
last year.
Hmm?
They were
They
in the
were in the
World
World Series
Series
last
last
year.
year.
Yeah, but like they haven't won since 2009,
9.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So between 2009 and let's just say 2 years ago, there has been all this spending, and it hasn't worked out. Like, why did they not get rid of him 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Like,
Because
what?
I think he knows the baseball operation side. Like I don't think Randy Levine and Hal. I mean, I think they run the business, but
Yeah.
I think they just rely on him, and they're very reliant on him to
Well,
run
and
that
on
side.
paper they look good. This reminds me of like the Ricky Henderson, Winfield, Mattingly years. On paper they look good, but they just couldn't win. And why
Yeah.
couldn't they win? Because they just really didn't have the pitching.
Yep.
Or I mean, it's just that's kind of where they are right now. Is I don't even think. First of all, they're awful fielding, which in the major leagues, you I'm sorry, defense means more than people think,
Oh yeah.
and they lose games. They do not have a reliable relief pitcher right now. Maybe Bednar might be that guy. The last couple games he's been okay, but I'm worried they're going to wear him out. And I think that's another thing you need to. We talked about Mariano and the Mount Rushmore. I have to tell you, having a knockdown, drag out relief pitcher that you never have to worry about is a godsend. And if you don't have that, it hurts you.
Yeah.
And they have Aaron Judge, but he's not protected. And if he's not protected, they're going to pitch around him, and they're doing it all the time. Like I was looking the other day, he had 2 more walks, 2 more walks. Like they're going to pitch around him, guys, and that's just the way it's going to be. And they're not hit. Now Bellinger was a great pickup. I love the guy. I think he's a great player. We're going to lose him probably because he's a 1 year guy here. But the rest of the team, I would get rid of everybody. I mean, I just no one I really like right now.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I say the head that rolls should be the one that assembled that team.
yeah. Agreed. It should be Cashman, I think.
Yeah.
But if Cashman goes, you can't keep Boone.
Oh, I agree. I think they
Yeah,
should both be gone. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because I think you hire the executive first,
Right.
and then he brings in the manager, right? So he's going to have, I think, his philosophy on the types of players I want to bring, and then who is the right type of manager for those types of players as well.
It's a weird year, right? Because the Mets were so good, still my pick to win it all, but
Mm,
they're going down. The
They've lost
Yankees,
7 in a
yeah,
row.
the
bananas.
Yankees are going down. The Dodgers are like say have so many injuries
Well,
and they're
because
hurt.
Mookie Betts is having a horrible year.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like all those perennial powers. Not that the Mets are a perennial power, but once they signed Soto, you figured they were going to make a deep run. It's just interesting, like are the Milwaukee Brewers going to win the World Series?
And the Blue Jays, they're going to play the Blue Jays in the World
Oh,
Series.
imagine that series.
No,
Woo.
but yeah, that's one thing I don't see the Blue Jays doing that. I just don't. I think they're playing way above their heads right now. I do not think that that's.
Yeah,
Um,
the AL's wide open, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. We'll see, but I'm on to football.
yeah, I know. I mean, tell you one thing: Cubs, a Cubs Brewers NL Championship Series is really good for baseball.
Yeah.
I also feel the Phillies are really good too.
Oh, the Phillies are
Yeah.
so dangerous in the
The
playoffs.
Phillies. So, but any of those teams winning is good for baseball. So, it's not. You know how like basketball, Oklahoma City wins. That's not really good for the sport because no one follows that team. But these are all three. Those are teams that there's people all over the United States to follow, and they're. It's good for baseball. I'm not against it. I
This is
wouldn't mind
Tom
seeing.
Coughlin.
I would like to see that.
Thank
Yeah, I
you
would
for
watch that.
listening to
That
Three
playoff Cubs
Long Way
Brewers or
Sports
Phillies Brewers, Phillies
Podcast.
Cubs. I'll watch
Remember
those
to get
series.
a
They're
fudge
going
in
to
the
be fun to
wheel
watch. They're going to
or
be
cookie
great players.
puss. So
The
next
American
time you
League.
sit down to watch the big
I
game.
don't know who Mariners. Who
Mm.
do you think's going to come?
I
Do
think
something.
I think Toronto, Brian. I really do. I mean,
I
Really?
just don't like that team. I just
I
don't.
don't like them either, but
Yeah.
they're good. They're very
Yeah.
good. They got pitching. They played good enough defense, and they can hit. It's a tough team to beat, and they're managed very well. I like the manager a lot. I think he's no nonsense. So we'll see.
Well, that's what we need. And again, like you said, that's what the Yankees need.
Yeah, Boone got thrown out
The
again
Yankees need a
today.
Billy Martin. The Yankees need a Billy Martin or somebody that's going to come in or Girardi, who doesn't take crap and they just go. You have a job to do. Go out and do it. Right. I mean, I think that's kind of what we're looking at, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So while we're on this discussion, there's something that's been intriguing me, and I want your opinion. And so Otani is, a pitcher and a batter, and he's doing fairly well in both ways right now. He had one game he pitched. He got pretty much got hammered, but he's been pretty much doing very well. Um, and he's hitting okay. He's 280. He's 280. He's not blowing up the world right now, but he's hitting really well. But the Dodgers are a mess, and I think not having Mookie Betts batting behind him is really hard because Mookie is horrible right now. So they're pitching around Otani too, just like they do with Judge. But here's my thing: he's a pitcher and a batter, and everybody says, "Oh, that's such a great thing. He's a unicorn." Da 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 da. Okay, but what about Travis Hunter? Now, I'm thinking about this, and I read an article I read the Daily News, which I hadn't read in a long time. Um, there was a great article about him. The fact that he's doing it. He's actually out there, and the coach was really thinking at first, I don't think it's going to work. But now their coach is saying like, hey, he's an athlete. He can do this, and he's going. And it's so difficult to be a dual player in football compared to any other sport because you got to go to the defensive meetings, you got to go to the offensive meetings, you got to know the playbook on both sides of the
Mhm.
field, which you normally wouldn't have to do. Second of all, you don't get a rest. Um, it's pretty wild. So there have been players that have done this before, but never to this extent. So, what do you guys think comparing the two of them? And I don't think there's any other. There's nobody in hockey who plays goalie and forward. That doesn't happen. There's basketball. You have to play offensive defense anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it
Um,
depends, Brian. Right?
nobody, no one in soccer plays goalie and the fielding. So it's really only these two sports. Now, what do you think? What like is it more of a cool thing? Is this more of an achievement? What do you think? Okay, now I'll shut up now. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. I think from the ability to mentally prepare for both roles, I think the harder part is Travis Hunter because, like you said, Bryan, attending the defensive meetings, attending the offensive meetings, knowing both playbooks, knowing schemes from each opponent week to week. So, being a defensive player, knowing what the opponent's offense is going to do, being an offensive player, knowing what the defense is going to do. I think from the mental capacity, it's harder what Travis Hunter is doing. I think physically, not to use the word easier, but I think it's easier for Travis Hunter to do the physical part of it, the football part of it, the playing part of it, because he's such a great athlete. Athleticism can kind of like overtake certain things. I think the performance part of it is harder on the baseball side of it because of how hard it is to hit a baseball. I think that's like the hardest thing to do in sports. And then being able to go out and pitch. Now, the difference, though, is that Otani does one or the other in a game, right? He doesn't do both, right? When he pitches, he doesn't bat, right?
Well, okay, but here's the thing, Mike. For 100 years
Mm-hmm.
until just recently, pitchers did bat in games,
Yeah, yeah.
so they took batting practice. But again, now what he's doing, he's a prominent person in the order.
Prominent in both. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
great hitter and a great pitcher. So I think like the physical part of it for me, I think what Otani's doing is harder, but the preparation for it, I think, is harder on Travis Hunter's side because of needing to learn the plays for both offense and defense, and then doing the same on the opponent side of things.
Yeah, I mean, when I when you ask the question, Brian, I, I just think it's so much harder for Otani, just because he's doing something that's completely different, right? Like to me, Travis Hunter is running a route or he's
Yeah,
running a defensive route, right?
yeah.
Like it's not like you said, Mike. The athleticism of what he's doing doesn't change, but Otani is pitching, throwing, using his arms and his legs, right, to pitch,
Mm-hmm.
and
Knowing
then
the tendencies of each hitter.
right, yeah, and there's a lot of preparation in that as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then he's batting, which is completely different than the pitching aspect. So I just think, you pointed out, Mike, like just the athleticism of Travis Hunter to be able to either run a route or run. And look, is he really digesting the whole playbook? I mean, he's very smart. I think he graduated
Yeah,
with a
super
4.0 in
smart. Yeah,
college. Super, super smart guy.
yeah.
And maybe he is digesting the whole playbook. Or are they just saying, hey, Travis, you're going to be in for these types of plays. So know these 5 plays. And then defensively, you have to know all the schemes because, we're going to use you lighter on offense than you are on defense. Now, I know that Trevor Lawrence is campaigning to get him
Sure.
more offensive plays, right?
Yeah.
Because he's such a talent that way. But I just wonder how much he's actually having to consume. Because you're right, like sitting in both those meetings and going through all that would be a tremendous amount of work. But I just think physically, it's just it's so different what Otani's doing pitching. Now, look, he's not pitching very well, right? Like, I mean, he had to leave the game because of cramps, and I don't know what his record is. I haven't really looked, but he's probably pitching probably 5 games this year. And all the hype about him when he came over, he's going to pitch in it. I mean, he hasn't really done very much of that. Um,
No, but the fact that so I have a feeling what they're going to use if they make the playoffs, that he's going to play. He's going to be a relief pitcher, and he'll come in and get a tough out. And I think that might be where he can add a lot of value because he's not going to start any playoff games. You can't risk him doing that. Um, but see, okay, so
and they have like 14 pitchers too, right? Like, I mean, and I know
so
a lot of them are hurt, but they're stacked in the pitching.
so here's the deal. Growing up as kids, right? We played football. You'd play both sides of the field, right? You play both, except for now high school, college, you don't do that. But when you used to play with your friends in the backyard, you would play the offense, defense, right? You do both. That's how we were brought up. Baseball, you would bat and you would pitch, and that's how you would do. When I was at college, when I wasn't pitching, I DH'd or I played, third or outfield. I never missed games, but it wasn't anything different because other people did the same thing. We had like every pitcher on the team that except for there was like one guy who wasn't a good hitter, but everybody else we batted like that. That's how we played baseball, and I just don't. It's like to me, I never thought Otani was such this fabulous crazy thing. Yeah, at the professional level, it's a whole different story. To be able to do both at that level, to be able to handle that, that's phenomenal. That's a it is a unicorn. But the fact that he's doing it to me is I don't I'm not enthralled by it. I just don't. I'm like it's okay. So what? He's doing what he's supposed to do. That's how baseball players are supposed to be. But again, in this day and age where we have DHs and pitchers don't bat, and they're so worried about their arms and they don't want to get hurt, and they have muscles that are built a certain way, and then you don't really want them running bases and this and that. I understand all that. It's a different world. But with football, to me, I just feel you have to know so much. Like memorizing those playbooks is not an easy thing, and to be able to have to know the offense and defense and never take a break. Now, again, in football you can take breaks, so you can do that, but you got to be on top of. You have to go. You have to scout. The scouting for both teams. Football does amazing scouting. Now, baseball does pitching scouting. They do a lot of that, right? The pitchers come in and they look at the batter's tendencies, but a lot they also have the catcher to help them in that. So if you forget, and believe me, I was really bad like that. I used to forget, and I'd be like, just I want to throw a fastball, and the catcher would wave me off, and he'd say, like, this guy can't hit a curveball, but I don't have a good curveball. Okay, then that's kind of how it used to be. But the catcher dictates a lot of the pitches. And nowadays in the major leagues, they're getting signs. So there's a sign to the third base coach, to the catcher. He flashes in the pitcher pitches. There's not a lot of thought in it right now, so the pitcher doesn't have to know much. Whereas in football, you kind of have to know. Again, maybe because I never played football at that level. To me, it just seems um, very very difficult, and I don't know how he'll be able to handle that. But like we'll have to see.
Is he primarily going to be defense or offense?
He's slated as a starting defensive player right now,
Okay,
and
so
he's not a starting receiver.
okay, so they'll probably try to get him like 10 to 15 plays on offense, maybe something like that.
But
Yeah,
if he starts doing well, he's going to play more.
Yeah,
yeah.
it is very hard. Like, and I guess like you said, he's a unicorn. He was so good offensively and so good defensively that I'm sure both coordinators are clamoring. And Alex said Trevor Lawrence would love to have him, and why wouldn't you, right? After Trevor Lawrence's nightmare season last year, I'm sure he'd love to have that guy on his side of the field all the time. So yeah, it's interesting, and but yeah, we were saying earlier when we were talking about the draft and when he got drafted, he seems like a great kid and really bright kid. So if anyone could do it, it's certainly him. And I think it'd be really cool. Like what we've seen in the last few years, Otani excel at pitching and hitting. It'd be really cool to see an NFL guy that can excel somehow at both. It just seems exhausting, like an exhausting load to try to carry.
And
We,
how long are they going to stick with Otani doing this? Like, I'm just looking up his stats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he pitched
Eight
in
times,
10
yeah.
games in 2018. So he threw 800 pitches. He pitched in no games in 2019. He pitched in 2 games in
Mm-hmm.
2020, right? So basically 2 years he didn't pitch, 19 and 20. Then 21 he pitched in
Mm-hmm.
23 games. 22 he pitched in 28 games. And 23 he pitched in 23 games, right? Then he didn't pitch at all in 24 because,
Yeah.
again, he was hurt again. And this year he's pitched in 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of had a 3-year run where he pitched. Do we really expect him to have that run again? Or is it just going to be, you know what, let's just keep making him a hitter and we
I
don't really
think
need the
yeah,
pitch?
I think the only way this is again. I don't know, and I'm not. My think the value that he'll be going through his career as he stays sharp will be to bring him in to get a couple batters in the end of the game, and especially in playoff games because of his stuff, and that's it. Like I don't foresee him being a starter.
So
I
so
just
you,
don't think.
you, you see him DHing and then coming into pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But then you lose your DH spot, but that doesn't matter, right? Because he's the pitcher.
Yeah.
But I think I see this happening that where he's gonna. That's where his value is going to be. He doesn't want to be a relief pitcher. That's the problem. I think they got to get him to think about that. I think that baseball the way baseball is right now, it's so specialized. It's so much. It's the matchup. It's who's batting, what's their average versus lefties versus righties, who's the right pitcher to throw in there. And as a relief pitcher with his stuff, because he's electric. There's no doubt in my mind he's electric. So bring him in to hit it. Eighth inning, man on, bring him in. Strike out a guy. That's the kind of person you do. And then it doesn't put a strain in his arm. Doesn't really mess up his whole coordination in his training. But the starting pitching, your starters have to get in a routine. You have to work your arm. During the week, your 4 or 5 day rotation. You got to work your arm. You got to. Okay, second day you stretch. Third day maybe you do light toss. Fourth day you might throw some heat just to get some to snap in your arm. Next day back long toss stretch, and then the next day you're pitching and you warm up the morning of you're warming up, throwing half speed to get your arm loose, so it doesn't get stiff, and then you break it out when you start warming up. You have to do that. You can't just sit around and go to play video games all week and expect to go pitch because they're so babyish on the arms right now.
Mhm.
It's not like when we were. Now again, I still think there's more Tommy Johns now than there was then. I just don't understand that. I do
They're
not
throwing
comprehend
harder.
that.
They're
Yeah.
throwing harder. But I have a friend whose kid is a pitcher in high school, and he can play the field and he'll like help out his travel team, whatever. But he said there's guys that they're pitchers only. Now this is in high
Already?
school.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not batting, they're not playing the field. If they play on a travel team, they'll fly in. Like if the travel team goes somewhere to play a game, they'll fly in, they'll pitch that one day, and then they fly home. They-
Wow.
yeah. So if you go for a tournament, she was just telling me this. They flew down to, I don't know, Florida or Alabama or somewhere down there, and the kids that pitch only, they just come in for the day and they pitch and then they leave, and that's in high school, right? So
Yeah,
their arms are going to be
that's
shot.
sad. That's
You're not even
sad.
hanging out with the team. That's
Yeah,
No,
weird.
that's sad.
no.
That's sad. You're not partaking. You don't get that feeling of being part of the team when you're doing that.
Well, it's all about the scholarship, right?
No, I
Now,
know,
yeah,
I know, I know.
Hired
That's
gun.
yeah.
it's hard. It's hard, and I don't know. Okay, well let's move on. Um, the other thing I want to talk about really quickly before we don't forget this because it's gonna we're gonna laugh and um, so the WNBA. When every time we talk about the WNBA, we have something stupid. I have to say I've never experienced a sport where you have a game held up or a player who leaves the court because a wig came off, or you have situations where people are traded or having problems because of people they're dating on the teams. That never happens in the NBA, at least that I know of. I mean, I've never, and these are things that are happening right now. Um,
Well, wasn't there one mom that was dating some guys in the NBA, like other guys on the team?
yeah, it was.
Oh, it was
Was that the
Delonte
Lakers?
West.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Delonte West with LeBron James'
Yeah,
mom. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
That was the
crazy.
big rumor.
Anyway,
Now he's living
but
in the
but
streets.
but this is like rampant right now. Like people changing teams because of their girlfriend or girlfriends on the other team, like all these kind of. This is not. I mean, that's the part of sports where I don't understand. So so now we have this craziness where the WNBA people are throwing dildos on the floor, and I
Sex.
love Sophie Cunningham's quote. Text. She goes, "Please don't throw dildos on the floor." Like I said, that was it. Yeah, nothing else. Stop. And that just like what? Like, of course. Why would I do that? But I just don't understand. I can't comprehend a person who, first of all, goes to a store and buys a green dildo or purple. Like there was one purple, right? Goes to the buys a dildo and then brings it into the stadium, and then takes it and throws it. I just like if I was with that person, I would be like, I'm gonna call, I'm turning you in, dude. I'm sorry, I don't care. What a stupid thing. But I just don't like. Have you guys ever been with a person who does stupid things like that? And don't say me. But
well, it's a marketing stunt, right? It's a marketing stunt for a meme coin. That's why they're doing it, and
is
that's
that 100% true? Because
yeah,
the guy from the Liberty game the other day, they have a picture of him in the paper today.
yeah.
They're all the crime watchers is looking for the guy. They
That's
they prosecuted the other, two of the guys that they caught.
yeah.
They're not going to let off easy.
No, but that's what they were doing it for. That's the name of the meme coin. what they're
Dildo?
throwing. Green.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But that's just like to me, it's a sick. They're just sick dudes,
Yeah.
and
It's
you know,
guerrilla marketing.
yeah, no, I
So
just don't understand. Like, I, they wouldn't do that in the NBA. I don't know, I guess they throw butt plugs on that. I don't know what they what.
Oh, God.
I just, I don't know what they like. To me, I just think that that's beyond sports. And again, the wig thing was cracking me up. I'm not like there was a close game, tie score. One of the best players loses their wig, and they have to go to the locker room, and they miss like the whole fourth quarter because like and the team loses the game. Like that's not you don't you can't make that up. Like how could that be? No one had that on their bingo card. I mean like how could that happen? I just it's very very interesting what's going on with the WNBA. I think we talked about Brian Cashman, uh, you know that needs to get let go, or Aaron Boone. The commissioner of the WNBA needs to be just like punted, and they need somebody to go in there that's gonna just change the culture and just start making things, understanding what's gonna make them good, and not try to. I don't know. I don't. I just it's unwatchable right now. I don't know if you guys watch it ever, but it's unwatchable.
yeah, I don't watch it. And it's a great sport, and hats off to them. It's just too many sports I have to watch. I don't even watch a whole lot of Premier League. I watch it when I can, but too
What?
many sports these days to watch. And I think that's why it's going to be difficult to find the audience. And I mean, I think they can find the audience if women go and, they get that. And, obviously men will be involved and gambling will get involved and all that. But there's just so many sports now. It's like you got to pick the ones that you really want to dedicate yourself to. And it's just not one that I'm ready to do that yet. Even the NBA, Mike, Brian, you guys follow the NBA a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
I'll watch a Knick game if it's on and stay with it throughout the season and go to the games later in the season. But it's just tough. There's so many games,
Yeah, yeah,
baseball
no.
and football and
But I actually was reserving time to watch the Fever play because I like Clark, but I actually like the rest of their team too. So I've been watching them. I watch the Liberty sometimes. I like
it's like the
Sabrina.
three
I
best
like
players are
Sabrina a
hurt
lot.
now, right?
Yeah, the Liberty are a mess, and
No, the
the
Fever.
Fever a disaster,
Yeah.
and they still won.
Yeah.
Um, but they're in trouble now. So I do like watching their teams. I'm not gonna tell you I don't. Like the Fever play a good brand of basketball. They actually play basketball. They're not doing, throwing up half shots but I can't watch it now because it's just miserable. It's a miserable sport, and they got to do something. It's not fair. Like the fouls and the refereeing is horrible. It's bush league, and I that's I you know what I let me take that back. Um, it's not good. It's not a good sport right now, and um,
It took me a second.
yeah, delete
Brian
that.
was setting that up all night.
No, it was not. Actually, it was not. That just came out of my mouth. Um, you
Well,
guys know
I
you
have.
guys know me long enough to know that things like that come out of my mouth. But I think okay, so that's it.
Well, I have to ask a quick question
Go ahead.
because Alex, you made the point about like, oh, there's so many sports I can't watch. Well, please tell me that neither of you are watching all of these ridiculous like regionals of the Little League World Series that they're broadcasting on TV.
I
No,
do watch them.
I used
Oh
to.
no,
I used to.
It's
I
so
don't.
pure.
Yeah, I did.
It's so
Is
I
it?
do like it.
pure.
Is it
If it's
pure?
on and I'm not doing anything, I will turn it on. He's right.
I won't.
I
I
watch the
mean,
College World Series too. Like I'll watch that. I mean, I do. I like doing that stuff. I like watching that, but I haven't had the time lately to watch all these things.
yeah, I can't watch the Little League World Series. I used to like when I was younger and they would show the World Championship game, whatever that was called, and the U.S.
Yeah,
Championship,
yeah, yeah. That'll. I
and
mean,
then the championship game would be on like Saturday.
they're playing. They're showing too many now. I
They're
do.
showing way too many. They're showing every regional game,
But
and
you know what, guys? People watch them. So if
I
that
feel like there's
happens,
so much pressure on these
I'd
kids.
rather watch that than the WNBA or PBA bowling
And the games go so fast because
or
they're 6 innings,
or team arrow shooting. Did you see that recently on ESPN? These guys, they have bow and arrows and they shoot them at each other. Yeah, they have like soft tips. I'm not kidding you. I have pictures. I was like shocked. Like, what is this sport? Are you really hurting for sports that you have to do this kind of thing?
Was
They
it the
shoot them at
Ocho?
each other. Okay.
Yeah, shooting it at each other. I will send you a pictures afterwards. Okay, so that's that. We had a couple more topics really to talk about. Um, Alex brought up a really good thing in our conversation about should starters play in NFL preseason games. So I don't know who wants to talk about that first. Alex, why don't you start with that one?
Yeah, so I just I posed the question because a couple players got hurt, but I just feel like these guys have to play more in these games. That's my feeling because the first 3 weeks of the NFL season now is like bad football, right? Like there's tons of penalties, and these guys really haven't played in games together. So I really think they should be playing more. I think that the Jets coach came out and he played his guys, his starters today. The Giants played their starters. Yeah, I think it was like for one set of downs, but these guys they have to play more together. And I know they're together all summer and they're practicing and all that, but it just seems to me like the NFL in the last 5 years has gotten so bad the first few weeks that anybody can win any game, which is good for the Giants because they have a brutal opening 4 games to their schedule. But I don't know. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? I mean, I know injuries are going to happen, which stinks. But guys are getting injured in practice too. So.
So you want them playing more?
Yeah, in the preseason, yeah.
Okay.
I think the starters, like to me, the starters should play the first quarter at least.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
Yeah.
it's better for that? Like when they do those joint practices or scrimmages,
Yeah.
do you think those add enough value?
No.
No.
Well, they said I heard an interview this week that let's say I think the Giants and the Jets are doing joint practice.
Yeah, they're doing it next week.
And then they're playing next week.
Okay.
They play in the preseason. They basically said that the starters really won't play that much in the game because they've been playing against each other all week.
Okay.
So then the second preseason game, you're like, well, wait, we'll see what Aaron Glenn does. I think he's going to run a little bit differently, but the coaches see what they want to see against that team during the week. So
Mhm.
then that preseason game becomes a nothing game and nobody really plays in it.
The thing is, you're not really preparing for the team. When you're playing preseason games, you're not preparing for
No.
that. You're actually just trying to see what your guys can do.
Yeah,
You're
run
not
your-
going and looking at the scouting report of 140 guys who are on the roster during the preseason. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but see, I kind of agree with you, Alex, because I do see, and what I've also noticed is, okay, 2 times in Vinny Testaverde and Aaron Rodgers both hurt in the first game because they really didn't do anything in the preseason,
Yeah.
and so they're not ready. They're not prepared. Their bodies weren't
speed.
prepared, right? And so there's a good and a bad there. Yeah, the guy's rested, but they haven't tested their body yet, and maybe because of that, they're too stiff in that first game and they get hurt. I could see that happening. There's been people that get hurt, and that should happen already. There's been some significant people that got hurt.
You guys got carted off, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Maurice Norris
yeah.
for the Lions. He's the guy that was in bad shape, but he's okay.
Okay.
But see, I really think that so even the Chiefs that Mahomes came in for like one series. I like that. Come in for one series, play the one series, then get out. Don't play a whole quarter. Just come in, check the reps, see how things are going, and look at your team.
But Bryan, if you turn around and hand the ball off, right, and the guy gets 2 yards, and then the next play you turn around and hand the ball off, and the guy gets 2 yards, and then you throw it incomplete, is that really like you're jogging off the field after 3 plays?
No,
Is
you're
that
not.
telling you anything?
No,
Right?
you're right.
So that's why I'm saying like play the whole first quarter. Like just tell them mentally prepare yourself. You're playing the whole first quarter, so take it like it's a game.
But you got to have the first team offensive line out. Like that's
Yeah,
see, the
agreed.
most important thing is you can't say okay, Mahomes, go out there. We're going to put our third stringers in to see how they're going to block for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That you got to have the first stringers out there, and like that's important. Okay, that I'm agreeing with you. I think it's better. Not that I care about watching because I hate watching preseason games.
It's
I think
garbage.
yeah, it's garbage. And if anybody stays around, I know people that they're like, oh, I can't wait. I got to get home. I want to watch the Jets preseason game. I'm like, why? Do you really not have anything better in your life to do than to watch a preseason football game? If you are going out of your way to watch a preseason football game, you need to go back and reevaluate
You
your
know why
life.
they
I'm
watch,
sorry.
Bryan? Because they bet on them.
Preseason? You can bet on preseason?
Yep.
Bet on
Yep.
everything.
Yeah.
I didn't
Alex, are
even
you
know that.
betting on? You
Yeah.
probably bet on those Little League World Series games that are going on.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. They bet on him.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I like to watch it just to like either the new players. I mean, the Giants have Jaxon Dart and they have Abdul Carter, and you get to see the rookies play. And, it's not like, oh, I have to watch the game. I have to watch the game. But I tuned in for that game just to see how they were playing. And I tuned into the Jets game, just for the podcast and all that. And I wanted to see Justin Fields and how they were going to use him. And was it going to be a lot of running plays? And, he was
How did
throwing
he
the
look?
ball around. He looked good. I mean, he had a couple great runs. But he had a couple really good passes over the middle, kind of check down type passes, but they weren't like 4 and 5 yards. They were like, 10, 12 yards for some first downs. He ran it in for the touchdown. They got down within probably like the 7-yard line or so, maybe the 5-yard line. And he went back to pass and then something opened up and he just ran in for the end zone. So, he looked better than I thought he was going to be. So,
I mean, again, don't get my hopes up, but I'm looking forward to. I think this is the first time we really had a good running quarterback. I mean, having aging Michael Vick was not Michael Vick was on his last legs when he was on the Jets, but they haven't really had a running quarterback since I've been alive.
yeah.
So it's which is crazy. They've always had like these guys who just stand in the pocket and get hammered all the time. So
Well,
it might
their
be
line
maybe
should be
different.
really good, Brian. I think their offensive line is going to be good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Again, until it happens, Alex.
I know.
Who's the offensive coordinator for the Jets? Because that's key, right?
I don't
You gotta
know.
have the
Yeah,
right.
They switched out. They got rid of the guy that they had with Aaron Rodgers.
Ehrlich, yeah, the guy who became the head coach, Ehrlich, right? So they got rid of him.
Tanner
Tanner
Engstrand
Engstrand. Yeah.
succeeded Nathaniel Hackett. Okay, so he
Yeah,
was
Hackett was with Rodgers.
So he was the passing game coordinator and tight ends coach for the Detroit Lions. I've always been a fan of Justin Fields. Like he seems like a good kid, hardworking guy. So
Oh yeah, I suppose he's a good.
rough.
Him and Garrett Wilson are like best friends. That's another.
Oh,
That's
that's
another
good.
interesting thing, right? Interesting thing. We'll see how that happens. And
He just doesn't throw a good ball. Like he doesn't
no.
throw a quote unquote catchable ball. It seems.
isn't Dart's buddy from college on the Giants now too?
A receiver?
Yeah,
Mm,
I'm pretty sure.
I want
read
to
it-
say, yeah. I want to say yes.
I suppose he's doing well. If I remember, I read some article there about that. But wow, I can't believe I know Giant news that you don't know.
I remember there was another guy though that was on it.
Look it up.
Wells?
There's a really. I gotta go find it. There's definitely an article. I read an article in the paper.
Wells joined the Giants, undrafted free agent. While Harris is a prospect, the Giants are reportedly
I
targeting.
hope that guy Scatterbo is good. I really do. I think if he's
yeah.
good, that's going to be good for football. He's going to be. He's going to be a cult hero if he's good.
Who?
The Scatterborough, whatever that guy's name is.
Cam
Scatterbo.
Scatterbo, Arizona
Cam
State.
Scatterbo.
He
Yeah,
can do a little bit of everything.
He's been hurt though.
I know. I think he has a tendency to get hurt because he
Plays too hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling though if he could be like you know what he's going to be like a Wayne Corbett, a guy who just goes in and the fans are going to love him.
Yeah.
If he plays well, he could be, or a Phil McConkey, like
I
one of those guys. Yeah,
I think he's going to be a short
Vince
yardage,
Papali.
and he's going to have all the touchdowns. I think
He could
because
throw
if
the
the
ball a
Giants
little bit
get
too.
yeah, if the Giants get to the 2 or 3 yard line, I think they're going to put him in to get
Yep.
in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing was, which you wanted to talk about, was Mr. Sanders, and not Dion, but Shador Sanders. His first game. What's your take on that? You want to go? How about Mike? Why don't you go first this time?
I happened to be in the gym when that game was on, was watching it a bit. I saw him on the sidelines a little bit, and he seemed to be in really good spirits and upbeat. And then saw him throw the ball a little bit, and he played well. I mean, look, the Panthers are not very good, but look, you still have to go out there and execute. And I saw him make a couple of good reads. The touchdown throw he made to Caden Davis between like a couple of defenders, it was a great throw. I mean, he threw 2 touchdowns, looked really confident. I mean, look, it's good to see, right? There should be no pressure on him, really, a 5th-round pick and all these other quarterbacks ahead of him on the depth chart. But I thought he played really well. I mean, it was kind of cool to see him play, look loose out there. I don't expect a lot from the Browns this season, so Browns Panthers was not like any kind of a marquee matchup. But having been such a highly touted prospect coming out and to plummet into the fifth round, and then he had that couple of speeding tickets there in Ohio as well, heading into camp. I thought it was a pretty cool story, and I think it's kind of thrown a little bit of chaos into that QB room because he looked pretty good. So I'm actually excited to see what happens here. God knows the Browns could use some excitement, something,
Yeah,
because that division's brutal. Like, that's a tough division.
yeah. He was good, but he only had one drive, like in the game where he went down and scored.
Mhm.
Where his first touchdown was a fumble on a punt at the
Yeah,
7-yard line, and there was no drive. And you're right, Mike. He made a great throw,
nice throw. Yeah.
very nice. But he made some crazy scrambles in the back where he lost like
Mhm.
10, 15 yards and get tackled and stuff like that. So, I thought it was definitely a positive.
Hmm.
I wish it was a little bit more humble. It's just not his character.
Yeah.
Like he's flashing the watch again. Like, come on, dude, it's the preseason and you're the fourth string quarterback.
I know.
But
I know.
but I agree with Mike. I think he played a lot better than people thought he was going to play.
Hmm.
And he definitely has a good arm, accurate arm, not necessarily a strong arm, but a very accurate arm. And I think he's smart. I think he's smart on the field, and he nothing. The moment isn't too big for him. But I still think it's an uphill battle
Oh, for
because
sure.
I think they want other guys to be better than him, and I think he's going to end up somewhere else, honestly, in the long run.
Yeah, I did too.
If
But,
Cleveland doesn't commit to him, I think he's going to
okay.
end up
So
somewhere else.
first of all,
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is old, right? Joe Flacco.
Joe
I don't
Flacco's
know.
a starter, Bry.
I think when I was a senior, Joe Flacco was a freshman. I like
He's going to be the starter.
I know. And then they have Pickett, who I don't like at all. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
He's not good. The
Yeah.
Steelers. If he was
Which is
half good,
unfortunate.
if he was half good, the Steelers would have. The Steelers wanted him to be good.
Mhm.
They tried. He could have been a cult hero there. They wanted him to be good, but he was just miserable.
Yeah.
And so then you have Gabriel, who could be really good. I mean, again, he was a good quarterback in college, but he's going to play. Sanders is going to end up playing sometime, but we'll see. Maybe fourth game, fifth game.
Well, what do they do, though? Because you're not going to carry four quarterbacks. Giants are in the same position, right? They have four quarterbacks. You're not going to carry four quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're going to get rid of Pickett. They're going to get rid of Pickett.
Pickett? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And Gabriel's
he's a
been
bum.
hurt so much. I wonder.
Yeah, he might go in IR, and maybe they'll put him on IR, and then they'll. But
Right.
Pickett is not good. I just don't foresee them. I don't know why they picked him up. And Flacco, believe it or not, he's old, but he wasn't bad last year. So
Yeah.
but that team is going to be bad.
Yeah, and he's going to get murdered in that division, Bri. You
Yeah.
said it. The Steelers and the Bengals. I mean, it's just
The Ravens.
the
Yeah.
Ravens. I mean, it just goes on and on. He's going to get killed. So I there's no way that Flacco makes it through the season. I don't think. I really don't. And I don't mean he misses the whole season, but
No, it's a good point.
he's going to miss games.
It does amaze me that he keeps playing because first of all, he made a lot of money in his career. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's justified. Like his I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but guess what? His number's gonna be retired and maybe for the Ravens. He had a really, really good career. I mean, he was a winner. He was a very good quarterback for many years. He might as well just retire. I don't think he needs the money. He just likes to play. He likes to compete. I like that about him. But come on, Joe, man, you're hanging in there. But I had to say, he still was better than a lot of the Jet quarterbacks the last couple of years. So
the Browns still have Deshaun Watson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they pay him a lot of money.
A lot of
But
dead
he's
money
hurt.
there, right?
He blew out his knee last year.
Okay, so is he practicing or what?
No.
Is he back?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they're trying to see if
He may be out for the year.
From what I hear, there's a possibility he was on. I mean, I'm not even joking on this one. I heard somebody talking about that he might be on the Diddy list for because there's supposedly a couple professional athletes on this list. Yeah, they had the stuff that they have. They haven't really given the full list, but from what I heard, he's one of those guys on there. So I don't know. But
he blew out his Achilles last year, so he's out for the whole year.
Oof,
yeah. Anyway.
what a disaster! That's a disaster.
Oh,
Oh,
the
I know.
contract, yeah,
God.
totally
It's always-
guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
And you know what? I never thought he was that great of a quarterback. I don't know when they gave him that contract. I was like, why?
he
it's such
was
a
a good
Browns
quarterback.
thing to do.
He was a decent quarterback, but something always blew up with him.
I don't know. I mean, he won the national championship, right? Did he win it? Yeah, he won the national
I think he did.
championship,
Yeah, I think he did win one.
and
He was good.
he was good for the Texans, right?
Yeah.
Until all the bad stuff happened.
Yeah,
Well, it worked out for the Texans, right? They
a lot of
parlayed
bad stuff.
that
A
into
lot
the
of bad
Super
stuff.
Bowl.
Yeah.
A lot of bad stuff in sports. A lot of it's amazing how these people, we never dealt with you, Alex. You never had to deal with this stuff when you were in a company that be crazy
Well,
things like this what people did. But
a few
um,
things, but
yeah, no, I know nothing to that level. But yeah, it's great. No dildos. I don't think they threw dildos in the middle of the floor. Um, Bill might have thought of something like that, but no, um, we never did that. That wouldn't have been well received there. I think Lynn would have been too happy with that one. And but poor Lynn. And anyway, okay. So, any other thing you want to talk about before we end for tonight? This has been a pretty interesting session.
Well, I've got to we got to wish Mariano Rivera a
yeah,
speedy
Oh,
recovery after getting hurt in Old Timers Day. Like, does anybody need to see a bunch of old guys playing baseball?
it
yeah.
is fun, but you would hope that they would work out or stretch before the game.
Paul O'Neill got hurt the last time they did this thing. He like
Yeah.
strained the calf or something. I mean, Mo was just shagging a fly ball. Like,
But
man.
that's how he got hurt. Remember that's how he got hurt
Yeah.
many years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, awful.
He's such a good. He got a base hit too, and when he was up
Yeah.
before he got hurt, he got a base hit. He was an amazing athlete, and he could have batted too more. I think the Yankees didn't let him bat. That's an interesting thing. He
Well, they
could have
said he
batted.
was the best athlete on the team. Like
Yes.
guys during that whole run, they said he was definitely the
really?
best athlete on the team.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And he never wanted to lose in anything. I remember they like took him out to play pool or something, and he won that pool tournament, and whatever it was, he was going to win.
Like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Jordan. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
So
anything else? Mike? Are you any more baseball stuff? I am going to Kansas City in 2 weeks, and I will be going to the Royals Texas game.
Oh, very cool.
So
They still got the fountains out there.
I don't know. I think so.
Oh, cool. That'll be fun.
We got really good seats for nothing. I mean, that's nothing. That's people don't go to games very much. I was like looking through StubHub and I'm like, wow, look at the seat. It's like cheap.
yeah, I
Okay.
saw they were advertising for the Chargers games tonight. They're like, oh, season tickets $45 per game. I'm like $45 per game.
Wait, for the regular season?
Yeah,
That's what it costs for parking for the
Oh my
the
goodness.
Giants and Jets.
yeah.
Oh,
Probably
I guess
more than that right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
45
forget it.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. Oh no, but I mean,
Wow.
I mean again, baseball is because 162 games, you really can't charge 100. You can't charge $200 a game, except for the Yankees do that. But you can't.
I was
can't
at the
do that.
Yankee game. We were up in the upper deck. It was $50 a seat,
Whew.
and that was in the upper deck.
And you had like 20 people go to that, right? That was
Yeah.
for your birthday.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
you had like 20 people. How was that? Did you have a good time?
yeah. It was great. It was hot. It was super hot, and there's no shade where we were. But it was just fun to be with everybody, and my kids went, and my sisters. It was a good time. So
Yeah, what's funny is I'm not hating the new stadium. I like it. I like the other stadium better, but I don't dislike the stadium. And I do like the fact that that area around the stadium now is pretty safe. They do a very good job keeping
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
safe, and you could park a couple blocks away and not. It's not like back in the day. If you remember back in the day, as soon as the game was over, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's everybody be
dash.
careful. Let's all of us walk together,
Yeah.
hold hands, like huddle together in a
Well, I mean, the stadium the food is better, the bathrooms are better, there's so much more space, there's more space between the seats. I mean, all of that modern stuff is just so much better at the stadium. Whether it's as loud or rowdy or whatever, that's
it's still a great stadium.
It's
still a great stadium.
it's a great.
I mean, the crowd is great. It's a smart crowd.
yeah,
New York crowds know their sports. They are, and they do boo, and that's fine. You can boo. You don't want to throw batteries like Philadelphia fans, but but New York fans they're allowed to boo. I know sometimes players they get pissed off, but sorry, That's sports. You cheer and you boo, and
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
and if you're going to charge $2,000 a seat, $1,000 a seat, $750, $500, $100, I mean, that's what you're going to get. It's like going to a Knick game, right? Like you're paying a fortune to go there, and guys aren't even playing. It's like head scratching. But
And it's not like guys, be happy that you're not in the Roman Coliseum, where if you had a thumbs down, and you're probably going to lose your life, right? I mean,
Exactly.
you're not going to lose your life. You're going to go home to your suite and your
your
expensive
penthouse.
car and your girlfriend with fake boobs and all that. I mean, that's what you're going to do, and take advantage of that while you can. It is amazing to me. But I also there's one other thing about sports that I've just been hearing more and more and more about. This is the fact that these young kids are just not prepared for the money they make and what they do. And we saw the whole Ace Bailey thing, and we saw all these people on the NBA draft. They spent all their NIL money on like giant chains. Well, good if you don't make it in the NBA in 2 years, you're cut. You better hope you have those chains and somebody wants to buy them when you go pawn them at a pawn shop, because you don't realize this money's not going to be there forever. And the smart guys who invest their money, they'll be fine for the rest of their life. But some of these guys don't do that, and I think there's so many agents that take advantage of these kids and all that kind of stuff. And from what I hear, it's getting worse than it ever was. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but I've been reading a lot lately because I've been traveling a lot. I read a really big article about that. It's just like it was bad. It was bad in like the '90s, and then it got better, and then now it's bad again. And it seems to me like the young kids just have no clue about what they're doing, and they just blow their money like crazy, and then they all of a sudden they realize they're out of the game, and they can't do anything, and they have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they're making a lot of money in NIL now the last 2 years. I
Mhm.
mean, I can't imagine.
And no one wants
But
NIL when you get cut.
yeah, no, I know. It's tough, but hopefully, I know the NFL does a good job of, I mean, they have such a poor track record, but isn't it like 70% of their players are bankrupt within
Yeah.
2 or 3 years of retirement or something crazy? But they have all these courses for the players when they come in and investing, and you got to put your money away, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And,
Yeah, they
you
try. I
hear,
think they try, but
yeah, yeah, they do. But,
I
hoping
also
that
I was wondering. I meant to ask you guys this. Were either of you guys at Gilbert Arenas' party, his gambling party that he had
no.
I
at that
was not,
mansion?
man. I don't know
Did
what
you
that.
hear that whole thing? He rented a mansion.
I don't know
He
what
had all
that's
these people
about.
there for high stakes poker or whatever, and then they got raided,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he got arrested, and he got off though because he had rented it wasn't his house per se, it was somebody else's. He just rented it.
Yep.
I don't know how he got off.
So that gets them off?
I don't know. He got out.
Hmm.
I don't know. Guy lives a charmed life, man. He was a guy I used to like when he came up. Because he
Isn't
was
he in
just
major debt, though?
yeah, big time. Another guy made tons of money,
Yeah.
and never delivered. But it's yeah, he's a major. He has a podcast. Um, anyway,
Who
so
doesn't these days, right?
yeah, it doesn't. I have to say, All the Smoke is a great
Yeah.
podcast. If you have time to watch that, like that's the best sports podcast. I'm sorry,
Agree.
not us. We're good. We're up in the top five, but I'm sorry, but All the Smoke is a
Love it.
fun podcast
I
to listen
agree.
to.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
sports podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites to listen to.
Yeah. Matt Barnes and Stack and
Yeah,
Vern Maxwell's on there a
you
lot.
learn so much
Yeah.
because these guys tell you like you learn so much.
Great
I
stories.
love Barnes. I always liked him. Yeah, he was on the Warriors. I always liked the guy, but he's just a very open guy. But he's one of those guys that got his one of his wives. Actually, him and Jaxon both had wives on the basketball wives. The
Wow.
wives ripped them apart for all their money. Um, that's another show. Yeah, I can't believe that's still on. Basketball wives. It's don't these people learn?
So I'm just reading up on Gilbert Arenas, right? He made $160 million in his career, and they said he might be worth between 10 and 15 million. So
Ugh.
those numbers are generally inflated. I would bet it's less than that. He
God.
said Arenas' financial problems were exacerbated by others. He sued his financial management firm for $40 million, alleging they mismanaged his assets. Um, he lost when he had the whole gun in the locker room. He lost
Yep.
his $50 million Adidas deal.
Hmm.
I
Mhm.
mean, jeepers creepers, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Agent Zero brand, the sneakers. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can buy them for like $2 now.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
That dude could fill it up.
yeah,
No, he was good. I mean, when he came up and the Warriors, when they brought him up as a rookie, like no one really knew who he was. He had an amazing rookie season. He was really good, and then he left, and then but he got some amazing contracts. Yeah, yeah,
With the Wizards, yeah, it's good.
yeah. Agent Zero. I liked him. I used to like him a lot.
Yeah,
But
we'll have to see if we can get him on the podcast to talk to us a little bit about it.
yeah.
that would be interesting. We should try to do that. We should reach out to some people to come on.
Yeah.
I want to. The last thing I want to talk about, and this is another whole topic for another episode, is that did you see that Disney and ESPN are buying the WWE?
Yeah. Well, are
No,
they
I didn't see
buying it or
that.
they're just putting it on it?
I don't know. But either way, it's just like that's a
Well,
really big step for Disney.
yeah, no,
Wow.
I think they're buying the content, I think, to put on their on ESPN and
Disney
like
Plus.
the no, I think I mean it's on Peacock now. I'm not sure if it's going to go if it's just they're just getting premium live events, which are like, like what we used to know as pay-per-views. I saw that they were going to be on ESPN, but
And Netflix has one of their shows also.
well, the whole UFC, WWE, they've kind of merged,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're all under one umbrella. And UFC's on ESPN, so I'm sure that
Oh,
there
okay.
was
That makes sense.
executives talking there to get them on there.
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting. ESPN, didn't make any money for I don't know how many years, and the last three they've been much better. I don't think they're where they should be, like where they were at the one time, but we almost didn't have ESPN a couple of years ago. We almost lost it. I don't know. Again, I don't watch ESPN for the sports news anymore. I don't know if you guys do.
No, because you
I
have
don't.
the
Sports
internet.
Center's horrible. It's
Well, because you
horrible.
have the internet, so in real time now.
But
You
it's
don't need
also
to wait.
horrible. If you have
Yeah.
like, I'm in a hotel room and sometimes there's nothing on. You turn it on and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of all the personalities. They didn't want it to be about the
Yeah.
names, right? They wanted it to be about the brand and not the people. So they just started getting rid of people to say, okay, well, it's going to be about the brand, and any two guys can sit there on the desk and do it. And it's not the case. So
Yeah.
No, it's not. I think there was a reason why we liked ESPN back in the day because we were looking for certain things, and we followed certain people. I know there were certain guys I knew at the time that they were on. I would rather listen to them versus other guys, and
Sure.
there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
But yeah, this is nuts. So anyway, okay, all good. Anything
All right.
else as we end this episode? Long episode.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay, have a wonderful week, everybody.
See y'all.
Good night.